the hell realm. And this is the realm where we do need to overcome our fears and our greeds and prides and abusive thoughts and deeds. And as soon as we're able to do that, then yes, we do move into the fifth dimension.
So the fourth is the hell realm.
The hell realm is the equivalent of the fourth.
Right. I've heard that also. Mm-hmm. So yes, you're definitely reiterating what many seem to be saying, that is what we need to overcome to transform or transcend the fourth.
Yes, and really just to forgive ourselves. If we don't forgive ourselves what we've done, and just forgive others what they may have done, this isn't going to help, because there's a whole bunch of energy used up in guilt and shame and blame. And this energy needs to be moved into love, and that can only be done through deep forgiveness. Yes,
and that seems to be something that Christ taught thousands of years ago, and Buddha and the rest. So here it comes again.
That's right. It's like we exactly, and I think that we've got it in theory, and now we just need to put it in practice. And that's why the elementals are really such wonderful examples, because for them there is no gap between the thought and the deed. What they think, they know that every thought they think manifests, and they don't have doubt that they will be able to manifest what they want, you see? So we can really just trust them in look at how they manifest a beautiful planet.
Yes. And a flower. I mean, now most folks aren't aware that that everything has a natural spirit. Some people don't even think they have a spirit themselves.
Yes.
I mean, we do live in kind of the dark ages, it seems. But what are some of the different spirits as you understand them, such as elementals and divas, sprites, and so on? And there are elementals for the flowers and for the air. And could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, just as we talk about the four elements, earth, air, fire, and water, there are different kinds of elementals that specialize in those elements. And one word for them, the air ones, would be sylphs. And they work with the large weather patterns around the world. They bring the rain. They also bring thunderstorms. They move clouds from one place to another. Then there's the undines, and they are the water elementals. They work with small little streams and waterfalls to the gigantic sage beings that are in the ocean. And so those ones, we know, for example, that the earth itself is 75% water. And when a baby's born, surprisingly or not so surprisingly, it also is 75% water. Isn't that interesting? Yes.
Yes, very interesting.
So we are made up of the earth and the same composition as the earth. And the fire elementals are the gigantic beings that bring the energy from the sun to the earth that creates all life. And that's the energy of fire and spirit. It's also in our own bodies, in the kundalini energy, and moving along our nerves and into our brain. And the elementals that people usually see, however, are the earth elementals. And that's because earth is a more solid element, and so the earth elementals are more solid, so people see them more easily. And that would be the brownies and the trolls and the elves and the red caps and the little people is what most countries call them.
Now, can anyone see these at all, or are they specific to... I've heard that they're not as likely to be found in the big cities, that they tend to stay away from the big cities, but in the country where I live, how hard would it be for me to start tuning into these things? And how even in the cities, there are still elementals. I live very near Vancouver in Canada, and there is a troll family that is the guardian of the forest, which are called the University of British Columbia's endowment lands, and it is a forested area, acres and acres, with lovely paths, and there is an actual troll family who I've been working with for many years that is a guardian of that section. And all trees, for example, have devas, which are the consciousness of those trees, and we know in cities that there are many trees. But even if people want to have a little garden, or they've only got an apartment and they want to just have a little, a few plants, we know that those plants have consciousness. Yes, so anybody can really communicate with the spirit of the plant.
Absolutely. That wonderful book that came out about 20 years ago, The Secret Life of Plants.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Tompkins, I believe, was his name. And he was writing about all the scientific experiments that were done on plants and how they would have the exact, two plants, exactly the same kind of plants planted at the same time, and one you go and think loving, positive thoughts to, and the other one you'd send hate and I don't like you, and yet you'd water them the same, and the difference in growth was remarkable.
Yes. Matsuru Emoto did the experiments with water, which indicated that the words changed the vibration of water when it's turned into ice.
That's right, and because we are 75% water, that means literally not only can we heal the water of our planet by our thought, but because we're 75% water, it affects us the same way. And if we send ourselves loving, kind, positive thoughts, that is also going to be healing us as well.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I have to mention that had it not been for my good friend Joy, I wouldn't have read your books, because she had raved about them. And,
thank you, Joy.
And she has a question for you.
Okay.
It's mentioned in your first book that leprechauns are leery of dogs. Since I have so many cats around here and I haven't sensed the elementals this spring-summer season, I'm wondering if the elementals are leery of cats too.
The answer is yes, Joy, because the little ones are. In a house, there are some elementals that like to help people out in their houses. And in the older traditions, when more people lived on farms in Europe or even in North America, people used to leave out offerings to the elementals And in Ireland, this was very typical, for example. And they'd leave out milk and they'd leave out part of the grain. And they knew that the elementals would be helping with the farm and they'd be helping with the house. And these used to be very small elementals. Brownies and redcaps are really quite small. They're usually smaller than your knee in height. And they like to help out in homes and often live close to people. However, cats being the size they are, and those elementals being the size they are, the cats can see them as prey. And chase them, yes.
Oh, my.
Aha.
Well, that certainly answers that question. Well, she also has 8 of the 15 feral cats are under the carport, and they're tamed, friendly, and even allow strays to come and eat.
Oh, so that's nice.
How do the elementals feel about the friendly and the feral cats? I'm assuming that they probably see them in the same light.
Well, it depends if they're chased by them.
Right.
You can sometimes watch cats. Cats can see other dimensions very easily. And if there's a ghost in the house, for example, cats will often notice and track it with their eyes. And if you're ever looking at a cat, even if the cat is not looking at you, it will turn and look at you. It can feel you looking at it.
Oh, yes. And many times, yes. Are you there?
Yes, I am. So cats anyway do like to chase. They like to chase mice, of course, and birds, and small elementals. That doesn't mean that the elementals can't get away from them, and sometimes elementals, the smaller elementals, tease cats as well. They have a sort of love-hate relationship sometimes.
Okay. Now, in your second book, the word craic comes up. I thought you might shed some light on what the word craic means, and maybe you could give some examples during your travels of how that actually works.
Yes. The book you're referring to is my pilgrimage with the Leprechauns. Yes, where I took a group of 30 people to Ireland that wanted to meet elementals. And the tour got hijacked by my leprechaun friend Lloyd. And the word that you're referring to in Irish is pronounced crack.
Crack, okay.
Crack, yeah. Okay. Not crack cocaine. No. But it is pronounced crack.
Okay.
And I thought I'll read just a little blurb from my book about it if I could, because your audience might like that.
Oh yes, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. So it's reading a little bit about crack, and it says, it's not the destination so much as the focus of the journey that defines a pilgrim. And if you are traveling with a leprechaun and an assortment of other elementals, as we were doing, having a good sense of humor and a light heart is essential. The key to our pilgrimage in Ireland lies in understanding what the Irish call the crack. We journeyed through the crack and with the crack, and we were having the crack. Only the Irish can really understand the crack, and I often think that they invented it. It is hard to give you a definition of the crack, but a few words about it might point you in the right direction. The crack sums up all life's experience, the good and the bad, that which can be understood and that which cannot. The crack cannot be pinned down, and when you try to do so, it joggles you out of your comfort zone and laughs at you. It is both the great cosmic joke and cosmic joker. The crack is what lies between the this and the that. I often think of it as the crack between the